Let's see if we're live here. Once again, doing the production on my own, so I have to check. Let's see here. Waiting for the feed. And yes, it appears we are live. Very good. All right, everybody. Well, this has been a real marathon for me. Anybody that's watching right now, I really appreciate you joining in. I'm doing the last 8 of 8 paintings that I'm doing for my little short film, Oasis of Notions. You might notice a little difference today. I have a gold colored canvas instead of black or white, but usually I've been using black. In this case, a lot of the painting is this color, so rather than use up a lot of expensive oil paint doing that, I just went ahead and did a base coat like this, and I'll put oil paint on top, but this way I can be a little thinner with it and whatnot, and not have to worry about it beating it up too much. Alright, so once again, I probably won't be talking a lot on this one. I'm just going to be concentrating on what I'm doing. I may get interrupted at one point. I've got some friends coming over to visit in the backyard, social distance, and they're looking at some artwork from mine on their way back from Daytona Beach to Clearwater. So anyway, looking forward to doing this one. Been waiting a long time. It's going to be a real relief. I've really been busting my butt lately. I'm really tired, but I'm going to paint this one no matter how tired I am. I'm going to paint it, and I'm going to do a good job on it. I'm actually going to start from this side over today, which is a little unusual for me. I'm usually starting from this way over, but there's little to do over here. So basically, I'm starting this way and working over because the background is kind of more here. So, alrighty. Well, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get going here. Let me grab a suitable paintbrush, if there is one left. I have beaten my brushes to death. I have beaten just everything to death. There's just barely anything left that even works. That's worth a darn. Any kind of brushes. My paints are almost all toast. I really had a time of it. I tell you what, today I've got this one brush here that looks pretty decent. That guy, stiff as a plank. You can hear him knocking. But that's not the way it's supposed to sound. It shouldn't sound like that. The brush shouldn't sound like that, should it? But in any case, that's what I got. My friends that are coming over to buy a piece or two from me today, that's going to help get me more paints again. Help me get my stuff shipped out to my Patreon folks, because I have been a little bit behind on that, but that's because of a shortage of funds. Shipping is expensive right now. Alrighty, so I'm going to start with the background. It's kind of back in here. There's some little darker areas and whatnot. So let me kind of go with, let's think we go kind of dark. Let's get this darker tone here. Let me suggest a little black to that, just to kind of a nice dark warm tone here. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. So we're talking about that guy. So basically in this area right here, right here. It's dark color. I try to be clean about it, even though I've got a really crap brush right now, even though I've got that going for me. Woo! I'm going to still do my best to cut it tight, because these are nice tight cuts right here. This is a close-up of a flower, and there's nothing really blurry about a lot of it back here. Maybe a little bit, but I'd still like to get it tight to start with. So there we go. I'm just going to try to find my darker areas. There's a good dark area right in back here. Let's see, I want to say it's this one right here. That's fairly wet paint, as you can see. And I'm just going to try to take it up a little bit, because I don't want to have the whole thing going dark on me. Like that, just like that. A little bit transparent, but that's okay, because I don't want really heavy blacks in here anyway. I want to keep it, more of a softer black color. I don't really want it to be a kind of a greenish black, rather than having it actually be black. Here. doing? I just screwed that up. Nice job. Okay, so then we have a kind of a round shape underneath that, I believe. Kind of a leaf shape down in there. And this paint is awfully thin, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'm just kind of working my areas in. I'm just trying to find my background's not going to be that detailed anyway, so. This brush is crap. This brush is horrifying. It's a real piece of crap, folks. Well, you know, here I am doing my final painting, my pièce de résistance. I'm trying to do a real nice, really nice piece right here, and I've got a brush that's just, I just don't have barely anything left. I've got a great big brush that I'm going to use in just a minute for some of this other stuff that's in the foreground, but I don't want to taint that brush too much with this color. I'm going to have to do much brush cleaning and all that nonsense right now. So it looks like a good dark shot right there. And I'm going to kind of twist my brush here as I come around and do that a little bit. Kind of puff it over this way a little bit. And that paint will stay somewhat mixable. Some of the darker leaves, some of the things that are further back. Now there's some brighter things that are further back too. So let me see here. Let me look up here where this is. That leaf, the green leaf cutting right there. Yeah, this brush is just junk. It's got no edge really left on it. I can't get a real, I can get somewhat precision, but not what I would get off a good brush. Let's just say that. Disappointing to have to work with such crappy brush today, but like I said, I'll be selling a piece today, and hopefully I'll be able to afford some new brushes here. But meanwhile, you know, cavemen made their way with nothing, and they did paintings. So I'm gonna quit whining about it. I just wish I had a little bit better brush, a little bit better control. But you know, you can't always get, you know, that kind of thing. That's all right. All right. We'll start to puzzle in. This one almost needs to be like a pencil line, and I'm just having a hard time getting that out of this brush. It's just a little, it's a little fat, a little beat up, a little spread out. So it's more like painting with a house painting brush than painting with a chisel edge brush. But that's all right. I guess I'll live with it. It's just one of those things. Get some. Over that yet, so let's go now. There's some brighter things in the background, actually. They're not as large, so I can use a kind of a little bit smaller brush and kind of get away with it, I think. See, This one seems doable. This one seems doable. It's going to be all right. Now I use really cheap brushes because I kind of beat them up real bad. I paint kind of a little heavy-handed on the old paintbrush there, so I tend to beat them up, and I buy cheap brushes, so they only retain their chisel edge for so long, the cheap ones. So, but I don't mind buying the cheap ones in that regard. It's just I wish I had some fresh cheap ones, which I don't right now. So there's that, but that's okay. I want it lighter than that. I can see that already. So it's going to come in here. I want it maybe a little bit more yellow than that. Just let me get a little of this too. We'll see what we get out of that. We get a color I like better. Yeah. That's more what I want there. That's kind of green. It's not as lemony green as I'd like it. There we go, that's a little better. See, that's coming back to coming back into here. And normally I'd use a bigger brush for something like this. But right now I'm like I said, I'm at a low point on brushes right now, so that's just how that goes. Let's see what else can we do. This is the leaf right here, yeah. Over here. That's it this way. There we go. A little bit brighter shot there. Brighter green. It's going to be yellow in there. Yeah, I can feel the fatigue that I have from all the yard work I did. I did some yard work this week for a friend and paid me well, and I was glad to do it, but I am freaking exhausted from it, and I'm all beat up. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, so it definitely put a little bit of hurt on me. It was a great time. My son helped me, and he got paid too, and it was great to spend time with him, and doing something together like that was really a bonus. It really was nice to kind of do something where we're both kind of needing to pull our weight because we don't have anything else, and we did. We got out there and we did something that was very difficult, and we did it with we did a real nice job too. We did a real good job. We did our very best, and we did. Then that's all you can ask anybody is to them to do their best, and we did that. We did that. So I was very proud of my son, and he did a great job, and I was real happy with like I said, was spending some time with him. For me now, it's just a matter of being kind of beat up right now. So. Dark green is going to come into play, but not right there right now. Let's see, got that bright green back here. this color. Kind of a steely one back here. Right. And you just keep working it. That's all you can do. You know, is come in here, kind of keep working the little areas, and try not to get too bored with it. That's all. It's easy to get bored with this stuff when you're into not tedious, but kind of preliminary areas that are kind of you're not as maybe as satisfying as might be with like a watercolor or something where it's a little more instantaneous. You can see something cool happening. This is kind of a slow build up. It's kind of you know, it can, so with that it can be kind of a slow process. So rather than being necessarily tedious, it can definitely be kind of slow. It can be kind of a slow process. So let me see how I'm doing on the rest of that background stuff. Let me go ahead now, and I think I'm going to go ahead and be a little bolder now and grab a little bit of this color. And there's some of these big colors back in here. They're a little bit bigger. It's just such a crappy brush. But it's what I got. Like I said, it's what I got. A little bit. I know it seems like I'm dancing around all over the place, and that's because I am. But there's method to my madness. There is method to my madness, indeed. Indeed there is. Boy, this is a crap brush. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually go to this big fat brush that's actually still a nice brush. So let me see. Still pretty good shape. So I'm going to go to something that's a little more precise for some of this next stuff. It's kind of, this one's almost kind of too big, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I will take it. There we go. Couple strokes, a little weak there, but that's all right. Nice, primary green. Got a little sloppy with that one, but wasn't too bad. I've done worse. It's kind of splitting apart on me a little bit. Color there. That's no good. Yeah. as far as the weavings of all this stuff going in and out, it's a little more complicated than I kind of anticipated. For seems like such a simple piece, but it's like, oh my, this is proving to be a little bit more challenging than I thought, as far as trying to just get things to rock real quick and right away. It's not really not going my way as much as I'd like. Yep. Get down to some of the meaty bits here. If I can pull this off at all. I have no confidence in myself, but we'll see what happens. You know, some of the colors are getting killed a little bit, but that's all right. I'll just keep at it as best I can here. Yeah, it's kind of muddying up on some of the colors because I'm just using the same brush because I've got nothing left. That's the way it goes. I'm not going to worry about too much. I'm just trying to get an initial shot done like I've been doing this whole time with all these other paintings. It's just trying to get myself an initial shot on all these things so I can see the roadmap is plain to me once I've got this all in place. I can see where I've got to go from here and all that, so I can kind of come in and take care of business a little bit as I go. It's not going to be, this is a pretty intricate piece. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do it any kind of justice by just whacking away at it too much more here as far as this part goes. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and just try to lightly fill all this stuff in here, the back a bit. I'll take these things and fill it all in a little bit more. All this in over here. It's all going to really kind of fill in there, but I don't really have the, I'm just out of gas, folks. Worked so hard this week, and I've done so many of these paintings in the last, well, since the beginning of the month now. I've been just sailing through this stuff. So, and I'm starting to run out of steam for today, just because I worked so hard the last couple of days. That's mostly the reason. But and I just don't want to. This is a painting I want to really come out right. So and I'm not saying anything's coming out wrong right now. It's just a little sloppy, and I can see that my skill is just waning as I'm going. I can see it happening, and And if when you see that, it's best to just kind of lay off. My hands feeling weak. I'm just sore all over. So it happens. It happens. It happens to the best of us. But yeah, so the tangle's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with most of that. Let me come in here now with a nice green, nice lime green. Come in like there. Let me get maybe a little bit of white. Come in here on this on the top edge. Whee! White on the top edge. There you go. Something. You do what you can do, you know. When we come in, I'm going to do, you know, little bits that'll get me at least pointed in the right direction with it. And that way when the time comes to actually do things, I've got the ability to do so. Nice pale green way back here actually. I kind of missed. That in there. I'll have to fill that in right there. Nice. And there's another big pale green right here. Pale green there. That's nice. Let me go see what time it is. Take a break here for a second. I'm not sure how far I've gotten here and how much things are still even happening on the web and all that. Oh, okay, we got about 15 more minutes. Well, you know, I'm pretty happy with most of that. Considering I have really crappy brushes, really nothing to blend with or anything right now. Just a great big giant blender, which is brand new, and I'm like, all right, well, let me just kind of just soften a little bit. I just want to just kind of fluff up a few things here and there, just to kind of fill it a little bit. Give me a sense that it's not totally big chunks of stuff on there I have to worry about later. I want to try to kind of put that to a minimum. All right. So now let me clean up my brush. Now I'm going to move on to the main subject of our little painting here. Let's see what I can do with this guy. I'm hoping I can do an okay job. We'll see. Keeping my fingers crossed. Keeping my fingers crossed that I don't muck this one up. No, I'm probably blocking the camera. I'm sorry. I forgot what I was doing. I forgot that I'm filming in front of people. All right. Sorry about that. This is pretty much a labor of love right here. I think y'all can probably tell what I'm doing right now, but I've got to be very ginger about how I do some of this stuff. Very ginger indeed. All right. It's a delicate little bird. It's a delicate little birdie. And I love them, so I do. I just love these birds. They're just, I think everybody loves a hummingbird. I think it's easy target to love there on the old hummingbird. And this one's been frequenting our, I planted some bushes to hopefully lure hummingbirds, and it took some time, but sure enough, one finally came, and it came repeatedly. Not on an exact schedule or anything like that, but it came repeatedly, and it was really a pleasure to have it come around, and just a thrill every time it showed up. And they're so, if you've ever, I'd never really experienced a hummingbird except for maybe my mother-in-law had some feeders, and I saw some there, but I never really experienced one like feeding out of a flower, like out in nature, just kind of doing its own thing. Never really ran across one, and so this was a treat when we started getting this juvenile male in. He finally got his red throat after a while, but I'm just trying right here, just trying to get the feeling of the, man, what I want to try something, and I don't know how well it is going to work, but I'm going to try it. What I'm trying to do is throw in, God, I've just got crap for brushes, I really do, but I might be able to pull this off anyway. What I'm going to try to do is just have a very, very, very thin coat of paint on here, because I'm trying to get this guy, that's still not going to do it, I can tell already. I think what I'm going to need to do is dry brush this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean everything off this brush. So this is how I do it. And then there's still going to be some left on when you're cleaning it. So here's a clean spot, and there'll still be a little bit left on there, but it's very thin. So what I can do now is kind of come in here and kind of maybe brush it in. There you go, that's working fairly good. I'm just trying to keep I'm going to do a thing like that where I've got some nice, there we go. It's not bad. Now what I need to do is really dry it off, and I mean get it to where there's just nothing left on it. Just really, really, really ream it, get all the moisture, everything out of it. Now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to be like I'm blending makeup where I'm barely touching the surface here. Just barely touching the surface. And scrubbing it in. Almost like buffing in some shoe polish or something. And because this wing is transparent when it's moving really fast. And so I want it to look like that. And there we go. Now I'm starting to buff it in a little bit. Oops, I missed a stroke there, but that's alright. I'm not going to beat myself up about not having it just right up. See, I caught something from above. That's not good. But that's all right. I'll just do that. Kind of work it in. and just slowly work this wing and maybe just the edge of it a little bit. And I just don't want it to be There we go. That's pretty transparent there. That looks pretty good. I think I'll leave that. I can always go back and work on it a little bit more. Now I'm going to try to work in just with that same soft tone, kind of come in and work the gray area here. I picked up a little bit more black there than I would have liked, but I can kind of buff it in a little bit. Buff it in a little bit here. And just kind of buff some of that in a little bit more. Now let me take, I know I've got to have at least a little brush that's clean. Here's a little one. Here's a little baby one. Normally I wouldn't blend with a brush like this, but right now I've got a few choices. So what I want to do is kind of do what I was trying to do with that other brush. You just kind of come in here and just kind of soften out some of this area here, but where I can get a defined, still get a defined belly and all that. But I want to keep it soft like the top there a little bit more. Doesn't have to be transparent, because it probably won't be when I'm done. I'm going to put color and whatnot in there. But I'm trying to just shape it up pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's see. This has got to come off a little bit more straight. Let's see. There we go. Now it's got a little bit of color in it. It's got kind of a nice emeraldy green color on top, kind of almost iridescent. Especially like right up here by the shoulder. Let's see. Shoulder's kind of coming up here. That's a little darker, but that's all right. And then it's a little more gold up in the head, a little more goldish green. It's got some nice kind of almost like a turquoise color too. Where did that turquoise go? There it is. Put a little white in with that turquoise. Yeah, look at how nice. Now when I go with some whites here and pull up back over the top of that, we'll get some nice little sparkle in here, I'm hoping. Yeah, a little bit. A little sparkly do there. Yep. A little bit. Around the shoulder here a little bit. There you go. And there's going to be some coming down his back side too, and I'll kind of alternate that a little bit. I need more of a lime green to it rather than a turquoise all the way. I'm going to go more lime green. I've got quite a buildup of paint on this little dinky brush, but there we go. That's nice color coming in on them. That's kind of echoing, the colors above. Now I'll go with a little deeper turquoise. Come in one here and fill in these lighter areas here that were kind of needing something to fill them in. That way I keep the dark, keep all that dark area, and then I'm going to pick up stuff as I go along, pick up darks as I'm filling in, and it'll blend all in a little bit better. I'll just keep doing that until we get a pretty nice deal going there. And we kind of come back up in here now a little bit. Working some of this around. Fill it in nice. Yeah, nice. Now it's more gold, greenish goldish by the front. So I'm going to try to mix some of that in here, and I think a little more yellowish on the belly, looks like to me. So I'm going to keep coming in here. Now we're just about running out of time. I'm pretty sure I'm just about at my time limit here. So self-imposed, of course. But you can see what I'm doing. You can see that there's going to be a hummingbird there. Let's see what time we got. We got 5 minutes left. All right, 5 minutes more painting, and that's going to get him pretty close. The flower is crap because I just really didn't have the time to really get in there and properly do it. I've got the shapes blocked out and the shapes blocked out for the leaves, but it's kind of a jumbled mess in there right now, but it won't stay that way. Now this is a juvenile male, ruby-throated, but I still think he's got a little bit of color that was starting on his neck right here, just a little bit down in here. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of that red down in the dark area, so it doesn't show necessarily so much. But there we go. And now he's got more of a goldish, kind of an almost quite an orange tone, but kind of a goldish, deeper goldish tone, kind of as you get into some of this area here. And that's only going to last so long, looks like, when I try to get that. Actually, I've got a nice gold tone that I think I can use right here that might be pretty close, straight out of the tube now that I'm looking. That looks, yeah, it looks pretty close, actually. Not really getting it, but a little closer. A little bit. A little bit. Let's try to get a little brighter version of that tone just to hit a couple sparkles up at the top. There we go. Maybe kind of mix a couple in there. There we go. Okay, and there's some coming across the beak here, looks like. This I'm just going to kind of go back into some of the neutrally greenish browns and stuff. I'm just going to come in and just fade that in a little bit. There we go. The same thing here. I'm going to come down and kind of pull some of this color down now. And I'm using the side of the brush that's really dirty because it's just got a nice gray tone to it overall. And I'm just going to kind of come in here and just kind of push that around a little bit. And there we go. We don't quite have the hummingbird in there perfect, you know, but it's really, really pretty close. And I'm pretty happy overall with the way it looks. I mean, I think it's definitely like the hummingbird I've seen, no doubt. And I'm okay with the wing, the way the wing looks. All right, everybody. Well, I think that was about another 5 minutes worth of painting, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Damn close. All right. Well, that's good enough. I think everybody can kind of see the painting now. Looks pretty good. Let me grab the camera, pull it over. And there's stuff that's obviously still needing to be done. I didn't get some little spots done down in here that I should have hit in there, you know, some more golds or whatever. And there's the background that I should have done a little bit better. But there's things that could have been done a lot better. But, you know, overall, you know, the hummingbird itself, not too bad. And, you know, the leaf, the initial part of the leaf and the flower stuff, you know, looking okay. Just a little jumbly, messy down there. And, of course, that flower is not popping. The colors on that are going to scream out. So, but overall, I think, you know, not a bad little painting for an hour, considering once again. And that is 8 of 8, folks. And I am proud to have been done. I'm going to walk over here real quick. Let's see if I turn this sideways. I think I'll be okay. So there's, let's see, there's one painting. Let's go, actually, let's see if I go this way here. Let's try it. There we go. All right, let's back it away here. There we are. So that's one of them that I did. There's another one. That's in this last. Oh, that one's upside down. A bunch of these are upside down. What am I doing? That one's upside down. No, that was right side up. Anyway, I was trying to do something there. Let's see. There's that one. This one goes this way. Okay. And this one goes this way. And a couple of them flipped around. And let's see. Yeah. So those are all good. Let's try that again. Okay. So I'm just going to come over here. And that was painting number 1. Painting number 2. I don't know. I think it was painting number 5, I think. This is painting number 7, I believe. Painting number 6. This is painting number 5 or 4. This is probably painting number 3. So there we go. All these paintings were done, all in basically an hour-ish, in live sessions. See the little stack there. And then number 8, is this one. So I'm going to put it back on the mount here, and I'm going to get to attending to my friends that are visiting. I appreciate you guys coming and seeing me today and coming and watching me paint again. Hope you like the painting, and I will see you guys again before too long. I don't have anything scheduled, but look for me to pop up occasionally. I'm no longer going to announce shows or anything. I'm just going to do some. This is a specific thing that I wanted to do for my little upcoming film, Oasis of Notions, and I'll keep you posted about what's going on with that too. All right, everybody. Have a great day. I'm going to try to end this live video. Bye-bye now.